So what if the secret to getting ahead was to actually hide how good you are? I know, it sounds completely backward, right? But today we're diving into a really powerful and kind of unsettling principle of power. Why making yourself look good can sometimes be the absolute worst move you can possibly make. Think about it for a second. Can your own brilliance actually be your downfall? It's a weird thought, isn't it? We're always told, be your best self, stand out, make an impact. But what if all that hard work, all that talent, accidentally paints a giant target on your back? What if the very people you're trying to impress start seeing you less as an asset and more as a threat? And that's where this law comes in. Never outshine the master. The real secret here isn't about how well you do your job. Nope. It's about the psychology of the person above you. Your boss, your mentor, whoever it is. They have to feel secure. They have to feel like they're the brilliant one. If you can make them feel that way, you're golden. But if you make them feel insecure, well, no amount of talent is going to save you. To really see just how bad it can get when you break this law, we've got to look at one of history's most epic cautionary tales. It's the story of a guy who threw the party of a lifetime and ended up paying for it with the rest of his life. Meet Nicolas Fouquet. He was the finance minister for King Louis XIV of France, and he threw this party supposedly to honor the king. But just look at this list. A brand new play by Molière, gardens so amazing they would later inspire Versailles, insane fireworks. Every single detail wasn't just impressive, it was a testament to Fouquet's own wealth, his connections, his taste. He was basically screaming, "Look how amazing I am." He thought he was showing his value to the king. Big mistake. And the fallout was, wow, just unbelievably fast. One night, he's the host of the party of the century. The very next morning, he's arrested. The official charge was something about embezzlement, but come on, everybody knew the real crime. He made the king feel small. He outshone the sun, and the sun just vaporized him. The writer Voltaire just nailed it with this quote. Fouquet completely misread the room. He didn't realize that the king's ego was the most important thing in the kingdom. He flew way, way too close to the sun. Okay, so if Fouquet is our perfect example of what not to do, who actually got this right? Well, for that, let's turn to a true master of strategy. Not just with the stars in the sky, but in the world of power. The one and only Galileo Galilei. You see, Galileo started out doing what a lot of us do. He was knocking on every door, trying to get attention from anyone who would listen, getting little rewards here and there. But he realized this wasn't getting him anywhere. So he made a genius shift. Instead of just showing off his own smarts with his inventions, he decided to use his brilliance to make someone else shine. And he picked a very powerful family to be his focus. The Medicis. And this was his absolute masterstroke. When he discovered the moons of Jupiter, he didn't just run out and yell, "Hey, look what I found!" No. He framed the whole thing as a cosmic tribute to the Medici family. He literally tied their family legacy to the heavens, making them look more glorious than any other family in Italy. He didn't outshine them. He made them the stars. And the result? He got a full-time salaried position for life. Total security. Okay, so kings, astronomers, it's easy to see this stuff in history books. But how does this play out today? In an office, on a Zoom call, in an email thread? Let's bring this law right into the 21st century. And here's where it gets really tricky. First, you might not even be trying to outshine anyone. Just by being naturally talented or charismatic, you can accidentally make an insecure boss feel threatened. And second, never, ever get too comfortable. The favor that got you where you are can be taken away in a heartbeat. Nobody is truly irreplaceable. So, what's the playbook? Well, here it is. Instead of shouting about your brilliant ideas, maybe you attribute them to your boss's great guidance. Instead of showing off how smart you are, find ways to make them look smart in a meeting. And this one is my favorite. Making a small, harmless mistake and asking for their help? That's not a weakness. It's a strategic move that makes them feel valued and needed. And let's be super clear here. This isn't about being a sycophant or hiding who you are forever. It's about playing the long game. When you make your superior shine, you stop being a competitor, and you start being a priceless asset. You become the one they can't afford to lose, and that is how you get promoted. But what if your boss isn't a sun? What if they're more like a black hole, sucking up all the energy? Well, every law of power has an exception, a reversal. And knowing when to break the rule is just as important as knowing when to follow it. So here it is.
If your boss is weak, incompetent, and clearly on their way down, then holding back your talents is actually a mistake. That's the one time you can, and probably should, discreetly start to outshine them. The key word here is gauge. You have to be sure they're a falling star. You don't want to take a swing at a king who isn't already stumbling off his throne.
This quote from Balthazar Gracian just captures the whole idea so beautifully. There can only be one sun in the sky at a time. Be a brilliant star, for sure, but you have to understand the constellation of power you're in. Know when it's your time to fade back a little and let the sun have its moment, because that is how you guarantee your own survival and your eventual rise. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Look at your own world, your job, your team, your life. Who is the sun in your sky? And maybe more importantly, are you a star that's shining just a little too brightly?